Hey everybody, back with another one. Today we have Monkian from the ThunderCats original series. Gonna be knocking this out and gonna be sharing it over here with the page real quick so that everybody can see. Let's grab that real quick and there we go. Okay, now, hey Scott, how's it going? All right, gonna be hammering this one out. And you may notice that things have changed a little bit. There has been an evolutionary step in the old style here. And it's got a little more of a depth to it. But, you may not be able to see it. I don't know. I know I can in the way I draw stuff because I did, since I did the Mumra piece, I've done a couple of comic pages and such, for regular work and junk. And I tell you what, it's completely different in the way that I used to do it. So, um, just one of those things, where you just pick up the pencil one day and it's just like ding, it all sets in, and there you go, everything's different. Um, but anyway, yeah, people have been asking me about it since I posted this one, so we'll see how it goes. But anyway, got a couple of critics following along as well. It's just always fun because, I know they mean well and whatnot, but it's just one of those things people have to open and, you know, give their 2 cents on stuff and just whatever. I mean, I don't take it personal. They're trying to help, but it interferes with everything because it's not my style, you know? It's not my card uh, to do it their way. So whatever they think is flawed or whatever is just me, you know? So, but, and I'm open to that, but still, whatever. I don't take it personal. I take it with a grain of salt so I don't offend anybody. But yeah, it's one of those things, Comes with the territory. If you're going to stick your stuff out there, it's going to be seen, man. So, yeah. Now, I've got his beard put in um, fairly simply here. And it goes right up to the edge of that mouth where it comes out. And I made it kind of a 3D thing so that we would be able to see more of that, a little more organic rather than the action figure where it just goes right up the jaw, you know. And it does. It makes that squishing sound every time. That's a technical term. It makes that squishing sound every time you do it. You can try it at home. Go ahead. So it's one of those things where I just wanted to add some adaptations to things, and been practicing a lot and tweaking in new techniques that I like and whatnot, whatever. And all of a sudden, it just took a hold the other day, and I was just like, okay, this is going to be cool. So now this is where we're at, and believe it or not, it really paid off. So that's what practice is for, kiddos. Um, I tell my students and stuff all the time, you got to get in there and try it. And they're like, well, how do you know when you're going to evolve and how do you develop it and whatnot? And I tell them all the time, you got to get in there and just do the work, pick what you like, study what you like, and mimic those techniques and add them into your your baseline is the easiest way to put it, into your fundamentals. And that's when this stuff will take off. It really will hit. And when it does, it's going to just jump out at you. Now, I'm not a perfectionist, though. I don't try to get everything so hardcore, perfect with the anatomy and whatnot. I try to make everything resemble what it's supposed to, and then I move on. And the reason is because I draw so many books, I just don't have time to be a perfectionist, and I'm not a photorealistic artist, as I keep saying. So it's one of those things where it's all about getting the job done. Because if I was a perfectionist rather than a productionist, it wouldn't work. You know, um, I would be so busy trying to nitpick this stuff, I would never get a single thing drawn. You would just see a page full of holes from all the eraser marks. It's that bad. Um, so, I try not to do that. And, some people just come in and say, well, you got to do it this way and you got to do it that way. And that ear has to be just so. And, you can't be a professional if you're not drawing perfection. And, well, do you want to get the job done, or do you want to get it, you want to get it really, really good and get it done? Or do you want to be perfect and get one page and never get another job, So, and so, especially since I started dropping some freelance stuff, moving on to other projects and whatnot, and getting into full-time stuff with my books, there's a lot less time to be able to throw at these things. And that makes it even more so and more relevant to what I do as to how much I put down versus what I don't. So, John Romita Jr. is one of the best examples of that. The dude he throws down, and sometimes he has this really beautiful line style, but then other times he has this really strange abstract block work that he does with lines that he puts in. And the reason he's doing that is because it's an expediency thing. He wants to get that deadline done, and if it's a rush job, some editor he hands them back a finished piece. And I mean, we're talking like Jack Kirby style. We're talking fast. And he has this speed line differential to his art style, and it's just huge in the way it changes. But it is what it is. I mean, if you're going to do it and you're going to throw down, go for it. If that's your style and you can get the job done and the editors are cool with it, go for that. It's not personally my thing, but I draw faster than a lot of people too, so I don't have to worry about that. But it is what it is. So, I mean, it's just a matter of taking it on your own perspective and your own perception and saying, this is what I'm willing to do, this is not, and going from there. But now this funky thing right here is the top of his mace. I'll get to that in just a few minutes, but I want to draw in the rest of his face here so we can get this going on. We're going to really make those eyes pop out. And it's a little different this time because I'm hugging right close to the eyelids, and I want to cut across here to add in a little bit of a shadow, but not shadow out the whole thing. And right over here, I'm going to do the same thing right down in there. Boom. Just to show that edge pop out a little bit. And these bags are really, really heavy. Like the classic ape skin. They have kind of a Sharpay effect where they roll. And I just wanted them to look more, a little bit more organic. So that was the reason for that. And that'll go right up underneath there and pop that out too. And I like his eyes being heavy because it makes him creepy. It makes him look a little more stressed, and it makes him look a little more worn. And I like that look because he's supposed to be war-torn. He is an ape warrior in the series. And, following characters like Slythe and Mum-Ra and whatnot, he's going to look a little ragged. He's going to look a little worse for wear. And I like that idea. So that's the way I wanted to do it. But, yep, we're getting him to pop out just a little bit so we can get all of this going on. Now, what I'm going to do, instead of getting right in here and blacking all this out, what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of line this a little bit. And we're giving him this one so he can look like he has his septum broken at some point. So it dips in a little bit. It looks like he's been hit in the face. And as many times as Panthros whacked him over the years, it's bound to happen, He's seen a fight or two. And it does change over time. I've experienced that firsthand in, some law enforcement and martial arts situations. So it happens. But And my first one, believe it or not, was a basketball experiment. Yeah, that was fun. I was trying to try out for basketball, and I was a kid, and I wanted to play really bad, and I was into soccer and baseball at the time, and I just wanted to go. And I'm a shorter guy anyway. I'm only 5'10", so um, I'm not really built for basketball. But we gave it a shot, and I got my nose broke the first game that I played, and I was like, "Yep, we'll finish out the season because we're committed." But that's it. So yeah, crap happens. But this guy, you got to think about life experiences like that and add those into these characters, because the more you do, the more detail you'll get out of it. And it's just amazing the difference in the flow to what you'll get in comparison. Now, because these ridges are bulbous, I'm going to put a little bit of a shadow right here and pop that off just a little more. Now, this one's going to look a little more finished, closer to my Mumra and my actual comic art, because I'm fleshing this out the way I am. So um, now I've just gotten it to where it's clicked with me, and it's going over to a faster method so that I can get into these cards and do some deeper, richer quality stuff in comparison to previous cards that have come down the line. So you guys can get a better result. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the fine highlight line right here, and I'm going to block this puppy out right there. Boom, done. Yay. We have a three-dimensional Spike sitting out there on his old nugget. But that's where we're at with that one. Now, what I'm going to do is because this is going to be bone, like he took this from an animal, rather than going off and getting it from, it being metal or whatever. I'm going to make it look like more of a cat claw kind of thing, or a talon off of something, rather than taking it completely out into the clear and making it metallic and shiny and whatnot. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to take it right up to the edge there with that organic nail look, so it looks like it's like a toe from something. Um, Now, as far as this goes, this ribs out just a little, and I mean just a little. It's a very thin difference in between this next piece. So I'm going to cap that off. And this is just a metal band that goes over the top of his helmet, kind of old school, where it's just all about protecting, what little brains he has. Because Monkian is not known for, let's just say he's not going to win any spelling bees. So let's go ahead and do that. I know this looks a little rough, but like I said, I'm raising it up to where it looks like a separate piece. And the reason I put that little bubble right up underneath here, this sticker part right here, is so that it looks like it's two pieces to merge together. So, and I'll just thin that out to where it's going to disappear. Boom. Yay, it's gone. All right. Now, I'm going to come in here and put in the rest of this band that goes around the top of his head here, and go over just a little bit to where we can get that out. And I put it kind of like a fake crown thing. Even though in the series it just goes all the way around as one piece, I decided to raise it up just a little bit and curve it in so that he has more of a, like I said, like a raised crown type of element to it. It just gives it a little more organic feel. But yeah, I had a blast with this thing. This is a great character to draw. Okay. And we're coming up on the other side of this headband, obviously. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go, because I made this one piece. I'm going to make it look like it was pressed just a little bit to make it round out. And he's going to come right down across here. So it's going to be a little off center on his head, and that's exactly the way I want it for this angle. A lot of people over assume that they have to put it spot on in the middle, and they don't. Because see, it still looks just fine. Hey, Tom, glad you made it, man. So I'm going to come over here with this funky brow that he has and put this out just a little bit more and shadow that down and add this weird rim thing right here. So his brow looks like it's sticking out in front of the helmet, and that's the way I wanted to have it go. Okay. Now we have the big hairy patches on the dude's face. So, gotta come up here and show off the beard. Make that apply just a little bit. I don't know. I don't know what it is yet as far as how far I'll take this one, but we'll see. I just got private message, by the way, as to what I'm doing with the cards and how far I'm going to take the series out. Just so you guys know what that response was to. I'm not making strange references or anything weird like that. So we've got that going on. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and put in just a little bit of a kind of a squiggle thing right here and make it pop out just a little. Just kind of showing, you know, that he is actually organic. Giving it a little bit more life and vibrancy. A little smudge on the face there. So that we can see all that pop out. Giving a little feathering on the eyeball because his eyes are a little creepy. They have this kind of black ridge on them. They're red, but then as soon as they go red, they'll also turn yellow. Depending on what his mood is and what his expression is, a lot of the time. That's really strange the way that happens, but it is what it is. So I'm cool with that. I get it all the time. That's one of those things where it just changes and really gives this awkward look to it. Now I'm just trying not to get over detailed with this stuff because I don't want to over render, especially with the style evolution, like I said, with the eyeballs coming out, you know, and kind of thing, and you know the eyelids coming in. I don't want it to look weird, so I'm trying not to overwork this stuff, but putting in a little more detail is a good thing. So just kind of marking that off a little bit. And then we got the Monkian nose. Now actually his nose is turned up and out, so we want to go down under here to give that little bit of a shade line, you know, kind of thing, because his nostrils turn out. It's kind of rounded. The reason for that is because of the fact that it's a simian nose. So, you know, you just have to kind of take that in stride and make it happen. I'm kind of filling in this hair here. Massive one back there. Got a couple of peak pieces right here. I'm having a blast with this stuff. And back here on the back, this all goes out. So you got to kind of do this number and make it work, because this is a kind of a back shoulder piece right back here, where he's got this spiky tuft up here across the back of his shoulders. He's very primitive like that, but you know, he is an ape man, so what do you figure? But make that lash out this way for the rest of his beard there. Now we're going to get a couple of things crossing right up over here. Make it look a little more like his beard's coming out. Now, I'm going to go ahead and cut this in quick because this strap is supposed to be nice and clean. And hopefully my lid won't snap and make it twist. All right. And he's got a big old honking melon, so you got to, you know, make sure that the strap's decent length so that when you come at it, it doesn't cut short. But there we go. Cool deal. I'm going to put in a little bit of a detail right there. Now this is going to be all hair down here because it runs across his chest and his shoulders. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut in another piece like this to go back like that and be done with it. And then I'll cut in one or two more pieces right over here. But like I said, this is big tufts of hair, so I don't want to go cutting into it too much. Now, we're going to see about drawing this mace. Rusher. Now, I got this thing really roughed up, like it's been through, you know, a couple of battles. And it's all dinged up because it's soft metal and it's hit other weapons. Because cold steel's a little different. And you know, with it being monkey man, you know, Monkian and a monkey man type of situation, I'm not going to say primitive on the same level as, you know, like humans would be. I'm saying just an animal state of mind, and especially with this guy's personality, because he's an idiot. And he's that way on purpose. I'm going to make it like this, and it's got these big button rivets on it to hold it together, which, as crude as this is, it would make it very tough for the mounts to hold. So it would look really strange in that regard. Because like I said, it's probably a cold steel measure. They heat it up, make it in a generic shape, and then cool it down. And that's where we get this odd, almost rock style shape. And depending on who draws it and the weapon that he's using for the episode, sometimes this thing was wood, sometimes it was not. Sometimes it was iron, sometimes it was wood, sometimes it was a stone piece at the tip of a wood mast. It's just whatever they decided to draw at the time was awesome. And this go around, it's cheese. So, but but anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and set these pupils. Go ahead and mark these out and set him up for success here. Looking at what he's looking at. All right. I'm going to do something that I don't normally do too here. Is I'm going to draw the veins running into his eyeball. I'm going to put one going that way, one forking this way. Because whenever you look at him, he has all these wild eyes. and you can even see the eyeballs and the whites. You can see the veins in the white. He looks creepy. So we're going to put one more tuft right here. And then, all right. Now I'm going to rim this out real quick because I did not do that. I want to edge this. Go ahead and black out these sides so they'll pop up a little bit. And show that this is a little bit more metal. And I want to make these lines wavy and bow and buckle because I want it to be a crude look, like it's been dinged around, and it's not near perfect because we don't want it to be perfect. We want it to be war-torn and strange looking. And gonna put it in this way. Show up a little sideline there, a little feathering to pop it up. Because like I said, it's not going to be shiny. It's really dull. Make this have a couple of scratches here and there. Yeah, that works. And I want to put a little bit of a shadow on that strap. And the reason I'm doing that is to show that this has a light coming down this way. And then we see a little bit of light coming across this way. And that's why we get those contrasting shadows the way we do. So, that said, I'm going to put a little shadow down here for the hair. Kind of break that up a little bit. I'm going to ridge that out just a little. I've decided I'm going to go ahead and ridge that out so that we can see that going on with the hair and see how some of that will pop up. But I won't try to overwork it too much so that we can get that going on here. And then we're going to call it a day. So I just want to bring some of that out to show that Monkey Man here, the Monkian from the ThunderCats, has a little mask to him. Now I know I set that off center on the other one, but I went right in, you know, like on Snarf, but I went right in on this side with this one. I'm going to do that because of the fact that I want to show off that beard, and I want it to be a heavy divide. And like I said, that's the only reason you would do that. Otherwise, it would be parallel so that you don't make it look flat. So that would be the reason for that. Put a little shade under that lip. Okay. I'm going to put a little right here. Going to make that pull away a little bit. Now I'm going to keep this line thin, but I'm going to lift it just a little. And then I'm going to go over here and put in a couple like breaks to raise the hair up. That's a surface mark right there, surface mark right there, but it would come in a little bit right here. See how that works? That just pops it right up. So now we can go down here on this side where the facial hair sets on top of the shoulder in the front here. We can pull that down just a little, and like I said, offset that nice shadow, and it'll make it pop up and look a little deeper than what it actually is. So we have all that action going on. I'm going to fill this in. Then I'm going to go across the top here to make it look raised up. There we go. Hard line that side. Now, I'm going to go right off the edge of this one. It's going to make it a little complex because I'm going to double shade here. Thicken up that line. Making that bottom line just a little bit thicker to make it pop up. Separation in the hair right there. Now I'll go ahead and fork this off just a little because I want it to stand up and bring up the top. Same thing right here. Add a little bit of a shadow underneath that tuft of hair right there. That way it makes that pop off. And then we'll do this one right here and we'll call it a day. All right, cool deal. So, hope you guys are digging this. Thanks for hanging out with me. And we are going to call this done. Yeah, we're going to call it done right here. Yep, done. Monkian. Hope you guys like it. And tomorrow we have who do we have tomorrow? Let me see here. We have running down my list here. We have Vulture Man. Then we have Pumara, and we have Bengali right after. So that'll finish us up. And then we will move on to Mako from the Tiger Sharks. That's going to be cool because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of those. And then we move into the Transformers series. So you guys, thanks for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. Talk to you soon. Take care.